A woman tells me that she saw King Solomon, Shlomo HaMelech, in her dreams. She describes him to me and tells me what he said. I'm asking her, you saw a man in royal clothing, but who told you that this was King Solomon? Could it be King David? Ivan the Terrible? Prince Rudolph? Do you have a photo to identify King Solomon? He told me he was King Solomon. Who you saw was a crazy guy that ran away from a mental hospital. He likes making mischief. He dresses up like kings and visits people in their dreams. If King Solomon can come to you in your dream, why can't a crazy man do it? I have no doubt that this woman saw someone in her dreams. But how does she know that this was King Solomon? People can sometimes state the right facts, but call them with the wrong names. The topic of reincarnation interests many. Who was I in my previous life? How does it affect me today? Many books on this subject document how people said what they saw in their past lives, and then it turned out to be verified, even though in this life this person could have had no way of knowing it. Some are skeptical, and they say that the stories are not true. But I think that what is described in these books may very well be true. But I have another question. If I keep some kind of a memory from those who lived before me, why does it necessarily have to be because of my soul? Judaism believes in reincarnation, but a soul may be not the only thing that is passed on to me from the previous generations. Throughout the history, for some reason, people blamed everything what they don't know on a soul. Those who were once called possessed by a devil are now called mentally ill. Now we know that it is a chemical and neurological process in a person's brain that makes them act this way. Before it was discovered, everyone explained it as something soul-related. Before the discovery of genetics, it was believed that we behave like our ancestors because their soul incarnates into us. But then it turned out to be that it is explained by biology, and a soul has nothing to do with it. I'm assuming that probably we just want to think that we have already discovered everything about our bodies. Therefore, if we see something we cannot explain, it has to be something soul-related. But science still has so much to discover about our bodies. If some information is passed on to me from previous generations, why does it have to be necessarily through my soul? Maybe my genes have some sort of a memory. Maybe my thoughts and my emotions are generated under the influence of the food I eat, the air I'm breathing. And since people who lived before me had similar food and similar air, therefore they had similar thoughts. I don't know. Judaism believes that we have a soul. As a matter of fact, many ideologies took this concept from us. But what they call a soul is not what we call a soul. The term might be the same, but the definitions are very different. In most ideologies, a soul has some material properties like energy. Many people believe they can feel their souls. Well, you feel something, but who says that this is your soul? Just like that woman with King Solomon. Maybe what you are feeling are just emotions which are evoked by the music you are hearing in the background. Maybe what you are feeling is the process of neurogenesis in your brain. Well, a person cannot feel his neurogenesis, he will say. Well, and why do you think a person can feel his soul? Judaism believes in reincarnation. As a matter of fact, many ideologies took this concept from us as well. But what they call reincarnation is not what we call reincarnation. Again, the same story. The term is the same, but the definitions are very different. According to the Torah, reincarnation is much more complex than just a soul running from one person to another. The books that are describing this memory from past lives rely on a non-Jewish definition of reincarnation. What they describe sometimes can be understood through the perspective of Judaism, but sometimes it totally contradicts it. So if it contradicts the Torah, then I have to say that what is described there is false? Not necessarily. The stories which are told in these books might be true, but they might also be completely unrelated to a soul. The Torah has so much information about reincarnation. If you're interested in this topic, then why not study the original source?